What's up guys, Robert Optimal Bodies. Now, straight to it. I get multiple messages a week from worried parents, usually mothers, about their child this is from their words, they're overweight and autistic. They're getting bullied, they're really worried about them. Can I help them? Do I work with children? My answer is yes, and I've had a lot of success, and it's not just me, as you'll see later on in this video. I decided I had to make this video from a place of care, from a place of love. If you're triggered by this, if you I want to accept doctor's diagnosis and a label of your child, that is completely fine. Switch off the video, move on with your life. This is for parents that have had enough, that don't have white coat syndrome, that don't just want to accept a label on their child, that want to try a different approach. So do not take this as an attack. Do not take this as me saying you're a bad parent. Take this as a different approach. Why not give it a try? If this helps just one person, one family, one child, then it's worth making. I'm doing this from a place of love and care. And I'm not stupid. I get this is very, very controversial and quite a personal subject to people. It's your loved one, it's your kids, it's your family. That rolls us into my next topic, that parents, look back when you were at school. Was autism even a word? How many autistic kids were there? We don't need a degree in anything to realise that the percentage of kids getting diagnosed with this has just gone on the uproar, increase over the years, over the decades. We have to question that. Why is this occurring? We love our children. You love your child. We want what's best for them. We're not bad people. We just need better education. Doctors want to slap a label on a child. Here's your medication. Off you go. Next. They get zero nutrition education, which is, it's not their fault, but it is a massive problem. So it's looking like, from the research, this massive uprise in diagnoses of autism, and with obesity and diabetes too, that it's the ultra processed food, this gradual steady increase without us really even noticing that all of a sudden ultra processed food is a huge percent of our diet now. Put back something like nothing, like a speck of human history, something like 100 years, which is nothing. Look at the difference in going from whole foods to the crap that is on our plates now. You don't have to have a PhD to think, has that anything to do with our child's behaviour, development and brain? So if you take nothing else from this video, remember this statement: you are feeding your child the wrong food. I have yet to meet a child with autism that eats the optimal human diet. Yes, there will be backlash. There'll be people saying, oh, I eat what I want, or my kid just eats what he wants and he hasn't got autism. Yes, there is a genetic component and we're going to break it down. But listen to this. Genetics loaded the gun. Your diet pulled the trigger, meaning it is not a set in stone condition that you just have to accept. We can do something about this. And don't just take my word for it. I'm not just making this up. Check out this video for Dr. Anthony Chafee, a neurosurgeon, so he's going to know what he's on about, especially when it comes to the brain and development. He's had huge success with children and adults with autistic spectrum disorder, whatever they get labelled as, with diet intervention alone. Millions of followers. Check him out. Have a listen.
I heard you mention an association between diet and autism spectrum disorder. Can you elaborate? Are there any studies I can take a look at? Thanks. Yeah, I put a number of studies in. Texas A&M found that one of those seemed to be causative because of a carnitine deficiency. And so people that don't have enough carnitine, their brains don't develop properly, their neurons can't develop properly. And this is important for mitochondrial function and health as well. And so they found that it is the case that carnitine is actually an essential nutrient for a lot of people. Fully 30% of people don't make enough carnitine or any carnitine at all.
Now, because he's got a much larger following than me, a much larger reach, he gets so much feedback from all his clients, but then also people that just follow his advice, because obviously social media has made the world such a smaller place. We can reach everybody. So have a look at some of these comments. These are just a snippet of thousands of people that comment on his videos that are thanking him for changing their children's life, for changing their own life. Have a read. We involved eating primarily animal products, meat, eggs, dairy, for proper brain development to fuel our growing bodies. It's not just carnitine that we need, that this percentage of people, like a large percent, 30% is huge, that can't produce naturally in their brain. So again, that is loading the gun genetically. But again, pulling the trigger is the diet. We need creatine and serine, carnosine, taurine, B12, D3, K2, cholesterol, saturated fat. Yes, the list is endless and it's only found in animal products. So myself, I've worked with tons of families, children of all ages, even adults, and when they start adopting the optimal human diet, they start putting the right fuel in the body, this autistic syndrome, all these symptoms start to dampen down, and I've had full resolution with lots of people. Cut out the junk, cut out the fizzy drinks, and watch your life change for you and your child. And it's not just a case of adding these animal products in. As you're adding things in, it's massively important to take the junk away. And I just see it as drugs. You're just giving that brain that dopamine hit. You're giving your child that dopamine hit, and you wonder why they've got the mood crashes. You wonder why they have to be on their iPad with the headphones on to just be able to get through a meal. That is not normal behaviour. They're getting dopamine crashes, they're getting sugar crashes. It's looking like the optimal human diet is a state of ketosis. Obviously, this word gets thrown around, look it up. But basically, you're on a fat-burning metabolism. You're fueling your body with ketones, which fuels the brain. Every cell in your body is affected by what you put in your mouth. Body can produce its own glucose. You don't need to eat it for exogenous sources, carbs, sugar, crap. You can get this steady, nice level glucose levels, not going like this. And your body runs off what it's meant to. Its primary store of energy is big gas tank, which is all the fat tissue around you. Ketones are massively efficient for the brain. You watch a child's behavior change if they're in a state of ketosis, eating the optimal human diet. The brain runs so much more efficiently on these ketones. It's like putting the right fuel in your car. You put diesel in a petrol engine, see what happens. They're thinking clear, they've got mental clarity, the mood is brilliant, anxiety and depression is out the window. Your child's behaviour will be massively improved from following these tips. Now, I'm not stupid. This is not easy. It's not an easy task. Obviously, I've said I've worked with families, I've worked with children, I've got my own children. I'm not stupid, but you have to persist. As I say, always say, your physiology cannot be beaten. I've tried it because I've dieted down for competitions and I've got leaner and leaner and leaner. Hunger will climb and climb and climb. So when I say feed your child this certain way instead of this way, you leave that food on the table. You let them stomp on the floor, have a paddy, kick about, whatever it is they're doing. Hunger will always win. They will make their way back to that dinner table and eat what you want them to eat eventually. They're not going to starve, okay? And let's be honest, because I get a lot of messages of people and they say, usually they're getting bullied because they're overweight as well. That fat around you is to live off. So if they're not hungry and not eating, then they'll just lose the body fat, which is what a lot of people want. We are not talking about these third world countries with starving Ethiopian children that you see on these adverts drinking this disgusting polluted water. Your kid is going to be okay if he doesn't eat for a few hours. Will it be easy? No. Will it be worth it? Absolutely yes. What you have to sort of realise is that since birth or since whenever you've given food that's not appropriate for them, even birth, because this formula is laced with like seed oils, which gives this munchies effect, which I've spoke of before. But basically, your child's taste buds have been bombarded with fake artificial flavours and their dopamine system overrided all their lives. So all of a sudden you take that food away, you bring in this bland, boring, healthy diet food. Of course it's going to taste bland and boring at first. And same with water. That isn't going to compete with fizzy Coca-Cola, even if it's Diet Cola. That's probably worse with the artificial sweeteners. You have to persevere and persist and know you're doing it out of a place of love. Yeah, let them say they hate you, let them swear at you, let them kick and stomp, whatever they're going to do. But if you stick with it, over time, those taste buds are going to start normalising. Those receptors are going to be where they should be. And the child will get the taste for proper human food. Animal products, like a nice perfectly cooked steak or a perfectly cooked egg or whatever it may be, should taste absolutely delicious and should be mouth-watering to the child. But how is that supposed to compete with chicken nuggets with tomato sauce laced all over it, fizzy drinks and Haribos and crap like that? It is going to be like withdrawing from a drug. Same physiology, just at a different level. It will taste amazing over time, trust me. And my best advice, the number one thing you can do, set an example. Eat together. You should all be eating the same food. There's no other mammal, animal in the wild that eats a different diet from their parents. Automatically, you're not going to have crap in your house, are you? Because who's eating it? You're not going to have alcohol in the house because you want to set a good example. Do you want them drinking when they're 18? Different story. So have family time. Eat all the same food together at the table. And please, converse with each other. Eye contact. Don't have them sat with iPads on, headphones, whatever it may be. I know it's a massive change, but you're just reinforcing bad habits, bad social skills, adding to the problem. And away from the table, get them doing real stuff, get their brain working, okay? Get competitions going, drawing competitions, press-ups, get a pull-up bar. So it's better with socks off. Let them be kids, let them play, let them brain develop. Sat like this, they're not learning hand-eye coordination skills. They're not learning how to run and move their bodies biomechanically. All you're doing is sedating them with technology, like a drug. Don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. My daughter sat watching the telly just so I can make this video, but that is what you've got to use it as. Use it as a tool. Have it as a weapon in your arsenal to use when needed, like on special occasions. Like, they've got iPads, they're locked away in the cupboard. If we're on a massive long journey or on a plane or something, they're going to come in handy. Even just every meal time, like, bang, iPad shoved in front of them. The other day, me and my wife were driving and we drove past somebody and it was a father and he had like one of them lead things on with the kid behind him. The kid had earmuffs on, an iPad, and the dad, no joke, in his other hand, had some sort of crisps in his hand for the kid to reach and eat as it went. So he didn't even have to look where he was going. He was sedated by this. He couldn't hear any background noise. He had his drug of choice, his crisps, just this dopamine, dopamine, dopamine. What do you think your child's going to be like when you put him in a situation when he don't have those with him? Yeah, I'm massively guilty of using technology too, but I'm trying to use it as just like a treat, or I've set times, you know, like an hour before bed, you can pick what you want. I'm not saying never use it. We live in a modern world, but using it to combat any situation where your child might kick off, you're just reinforcing that bad habit, and they know that if I kick off, I get what I want. Again, if they won't eat without their iPad and earmuffs, they're not hungry. If they won't eat real food, they're not hungry. Hunger will always win. They will eat when they need it. You just have to not give in. You're the boss, you're in control. Do not just accept this doctor's labeling of your child. Medication is not the answer. Movement, proper nutrition, and a healthy lifestyle is. Just remember, you buy the food, you stock the fridge and freezer and the cupboards. You're in control of what goes in your child's mouth. You are the boss. But it does start with us. We are the example. Look in the mirror, just think, am I eating healthily? Am I setting a good example to my child? It starts with us. They are little carbon copies of us. They will do anything we do. If I just stand here going like this, hey look, they'll automatically start trying to do it. There are little beautiful nightmares, our little copycats. Well, let's sort our own nutrition out, our own lifestyle, our own bad habits, set the example, and you'll see a huge change. Please comment, please message me. If you need help with this, I've worked with a lot of people and I've had a lot of success, okay? And I'm not just making this up. Obviously, I'm very passionate about it. I won't make a video about it. This isn't meant to trigger anyone. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for listening. If you need any help, also please like, share, comment. Do not be afraid to speak out about this. We just accept that autism it's kind of like this taboo subject that no one dares talk about. They just think it's a label. But please tell me if you disagree with anything I've said in this video. Like, if you just look around you, just go to like all you have to do is take your kids, obviously. Go to like a kids play thing and have a look what they're eating. Have a look at habits. As soon as you start changing your own child's habits, it just seems to highlight everything around you and you realise that you're doing the right thing and you can see exactly what's causing their child to be behaved how they are. Obviously, everyone's on a different spectrum. I'm not saying this is miracle for everyone, but we can all try that little bit harder and just have a look at nutrition, how it's changed over the years, over the decades, not in that short, long space of time. Just 100 years ago, autism probably wasn't a thing. I hope you appreciate the difficulty of making this video. I expect backlash. Probably get punched in the street or whatever, but if this helps one family, one person, it's worth making for me. Cheers, guys.